Hi, my name is Maceo Lewis, and welcome to my sports YouTube channel. I'm at ML space sports space talk, no underscore. So please hit that subscribe button so you can see my latest posts. Today I'm going to talk about the Final Four, particularly the first game, Florida Auburn, and then another show I will talk about the second game. Just bear in mind, look, I don't watch, to be honest with you, I don't watch NCAA games during the regular season. And I usually wake up around tournament time. And even then, I can't catch all the games because I work and I do other things like watch and review movies. But I did get a chance to watch these two games from start to finish. And so I'm going to talk about the first game right now. So I fill out my brackets like everyone does, and in my brackets I have Florida over Duke in the final, and it looked like I was going to be right until the last game, but we'll get to that in the second game. And actually, I had 3 out of 4 right in the bracket. I didn't have Houston getting to the Final Four or in obviously the championship game. I had Tennessee, but most of my picks were right, so I still had Florida over Duke, so Florida's still in it. Now, Florida versus Auburn. So overall, this was a great game. It was back and forth throughout most of the game. There were multiple lead changes. I didn't count the number of lead changes, but there had to have been over double-digit lead changes throughout the entire game, from first to second half. There was never a double-digit lead by either team. The longest lead was by Auburn, I believe, at 9. Auburn had led by 9 a couple of times, but the last time was when there was 17:49 left in the second half, and Auburn was up 49-40. Florida at one point late in the game at around 35 seconds was up by 8 at 76-68. But again, there was never a double-digit lead in the entire game. So this was a close back and forth game. It kind of looked like Auburn was on the verge of seizing control of the game, particularly late in the first half and early in the second. But Florida just kept it close, kept it under double digits, and of course came back in the second half. But of course, even in the second half, late in the second half, when Florida took the lead, they were still going back and forth. So but anyway, that's just a summary of the overall game. Clayton was, basically the MVP of the game with 34 points, 5 for 8 3-pointers. Martin had 17. Hall, I think his name is pronounced Hoff, had 12 points off the bench. The highest Auburn score was Baker Mazar at 18. So the key stats in the game, it looks like the key stats with the free throws, especially down the stretch, Florida had 21, Auburn had 16, so a 5-point made edge at the free throw line, and then Florida dominated on the boards 39-30. So I just want to talk about some key plays at the end of the game, and I want to pay close attention to probably an unsung hero, Condon. Okay, so if you look at the stat sheet, it looks like Condon didn't have much of an impact, right? 1 block, 1 point. So if you're going by stats, you're going to say, oh, he didn't have that good of a game. But actually, if you take a look closely at what he did, particularly in the last 3 minutes of the game, you can see he played like a key role in helping Florida win. Now, I'm not saying he's the MVP. I mean, obviously, to me, that's Clayton. But like I said, Condon does some things in this game that's not going to show up on the stat sheet that really helped the team. So to put it into context, the score, I'm talking about the point when it was 69-68. So in context, Florida had taken the lead with Hoff had made a layup at like 6:31 to make the score 64-63. And then the lead had increased by as much as 4, 69-65 when Clay hit like a 3 at 4:29. And then Jones hits a 3 for Auburn at 4:01 left in the game, cutting it to 69-68. So that's the background. So there's a period of time from 4:01 left in the game to 2:24 left where neither team had scored. The score was 69-68. There was a series of misses on both sides, rebounds, both sides missed. At 2:59, Auburn gets the rebound, and Broom has the ball, and there's about 2:44. Now here's where Condon comes in. So Condon's guarding him, and he basically draws an offensive foul on Broom. So the reason why that was significant is because, of course, Broom could have like easily scored in that there, right? But because he drew the offensive foul, that denied them a possession, denied them a score. So Condon played good defense on that play. Then Clayton scored at 2:24, putting Florida up 71-68. So at around 2:02, Condon actually commits a good foul on Broom because it was at this point, this is the part of the game where Florida got screwed. Now, ultimately, Florida won the game, but Florida actually got screwed because Hoff was fouled off the ball. It was a common foul. The player that was guarding him, or actually the player that he was guarding, that held him, which gave Broom basically a clear lane to the basket. So Condon sees that he doesn't have any help, so he has to foul him, right? So that's how Condon gets the foul. And actually, it turned out to be a good foul because, again, that prevented him getting 2 easy points, and Broom would go on to miss the 2 free throws. But it was Florida got screwed because the officials missed the call. Now they did the replay, but they couldn't reverse the call because it wasn't a flagrant foul. And I agree, it wasn't a flagrant foul. So they couldn't reverse it off a common foul. So that's why not only did Florida get the foul remained on Florida, but also they lost a timeout. But so after Broom misses the 2 free throws, it's under 2 minutes left. Florida basically runs off about 30 seconds off the clock. So they basically keep playing keep away. So they run it down from 2:02 to about 1:33. And then that's when Clayton drives, scores, and gets the and one. So the score goes up 74-68. Auburn, on the next possession, they miss. They try to trap Florida. Auburn has the ball. Now, Condon, this is another key play that Condon made. It wasn't a block, but what happened was, I believe the player was Baker Mazzara. He attempts a 3-point shot. Now, right when he's going into the air, Condon comes in at the last minute, gets a hand in his face. It forces Baker to basically not shoot and then travel. And so instead of Auburn potentially scoring 3 points on that play, Condon forced Baker to commit a travel, which of course Florida gets the ball. And around 52 seconds left, Florida passes the ball to Condon. He misses, but Florida gets the ball back. Auburn tries to steal. Florida gets the ball, and then Hoff makes a basket at about 37 seconds left in the game. So it's like 76-68 at that point. And so, I mean, basically, after the end of the game, towards the end of the game, kind of makes a couple of other key plays. He got his hand in his face on another 3-point attempt. And then he, while Pettifer is going for a dunk, he commits his last foul and Condon fouls out of the game. And then I think Pettifer went on to make those 2 free throws. But basically, by 76-68, I mean, the game was essentially over. Yeah, Auburn still had a chance. But when you look at the final score, it was basically 79-73. So overall, this was a great game. Kudos to Condon for playing great defense for Florida at the end. And again, that's some stuff that he did that it's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but it ultimately helped Florida get to the final game. Now, in my next show, I'm going to talk about the Duke-Houston game. So until then, see you next time. Again, hit that subscribe button for ML Sports Talk at YouTube.